pick up something and recording. Okay, welcome everyone. Today is 22nd of July. Time here now is Cyprus time 3:42. I'm sorry I'm late a little bit. Just got some things that I needed to pick up from downstairs. Okay, so we can start. I've just lined up actually about 5 pairs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me check. Thank you, Sugu. Okay, so hope you guys grab some pips. I know, us all have some floats and some expectations of trend going our way, and then it's got large, very volatile week. A lot of liquidity as well. So, of course, the corrections are also equally as big as the potential for the trend. So that hence the reason, and we've got a lot of pumping of money into the market as well by governments, central banks, mainly because of the COVID situation. So all these emergency monies in different central banks are all going in. Hence the reason we are seeing loads of movement to the upside, to the downside as well. So here, for example, we have got NZD JPY. So I've laid out about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, up to Euro JPY. The rest are the ones that we need to look at for traders, including myself, that have got trades open, floating, or looking at whether or not it's hitting our TP or is it approaching our SL, and what do we actually do at this moment of time, and various other things. So those ones there, we will actually visit them as troubleshooting. These ones here are trading opportunities from NZD JPY right down to Euro JPY. Okay, so here, for example, we're looking at NZD JPY. Now, I always look at the daily chart first just to make sure of the trend. But then what we can then do is to look into lower time frames, and you guys can also trade the lower time frames, and I will trade lower time frames as well. But then see, if we look at the daily first, we look for the trend, and then we can see that through the price movements, it looks like they're actually above all these lines. And then you can see it very clearly as well on the daily chart itself, that we have got a lot of bullishness, and the bullishness is going slightly above as well on this most recent and most obvious resistance area right here. And then it is also on 71.54, which is very close to 71.50 psychological number. So we are not entirely sure until it goes above 71.50 by 10 pips, let's say 71.60, 71.65, then you know that it's got some power, more power to the upside. But then if we move this backward to the 4-hour chart, and then you look to the left, you could see that it is really close to this resistance area. Now, this resistance area is also quite significant because the drop from the top down to the most bottom is about 300 plus pips. So that is quite a significant drop as well. So what we can then do is lay out the body right there. Also the peak, if you want, the peak of, the highest sort of wick that you can actually see. And you can see that it is at 71.67. Okay, roughly right there. So what the current price has to do, or with this bullish candle, is to prove to us that we have got further bullishness by going above through this resistance right here. Okay, so then we just move it a little bit to the left, and you can see that this is quite a significant resistance right there. We have got more resistance, of course, but they are all lower here. And if we move a little bit to the left, some more to the left, just to make sure whether we have got, whether or not we've got bigger moves, bigger resistance. So far, it's not giving us any alarming resistance apart from the one that we can see right here. So that's good. And what would then happen is that we need to have more movement to the upside. Now, I just want to share a little bit about ADX as well, because some traders, they don't use the ADX, and ADX actually, it's quite interesting, what do you call that, indicator to use to give us an an idea whether or not the current trend, if you know and you're clear with the current trend, then you use the ADX to confirm the strength of the trend, whether or not that trend that you're looking at the moment is actually strong. It's actually worth more buyers or sellers going in to actually pump up or pull down the prices. Okay, so that is what we use the ADX for, is the strength of the trend. So if I go and click on insert indicators, you would find it under trend is a trend indicator. Then you've got it as average directional movement index, not the wilder one, it's the movement index. Okay, then you click on that and make sure you add the level 25 and you click on OK, and you want to see that blue line. Now the blue line is really aggressive at the moment of time. You can see that it is above the level 25 and it's way above the level 25, and it's actually making a very straight strong movement to the upside. You can see that it's really strong. So what that is telling us is that the current trend at this moment of time, it is still quite strong. So you have got participation of buyers, and then you don't need to wait too long perhaps. So there is momentum, there is liquidity, and there is participation from buyers to actually buy. But we need to make sure that it goes above this level first, just to be sure that it doesn't actually reverse. Also because the price is really close to the psychological level of 71.50. Okay, so what we then can do is we can plan forward, do pending order. If it actually crosses 71.60 and above, you can actually start buying. But then I want to be really sure, and I want to actually look at bearish candles as well. Now, the other thing that we can do is we can always apply the stochastics as well. Now the stochastics, you can actually use it. I don't use it for overbought, oversold. It just doesn't work for me. Never been working very accurately. But what I've used the stochastics for is you don't change any of the settings right here. You just maybe have, okay, you can still have the 20 and the 80 level there. It doesn't really matter so much. But what I use it for is divergence. Divergence means whether or not we have got opposite, the opposite attracts, you see. So what that means is that, give me a second, let me just get rid of this. Okay. All right. So what that means is that here you can see that you have got, we're looking at the daily chart. We can go on to the 4-hour and the day and the 1 hour as well. Now here you can see that the price has got the peak at the same level. Okay, that one there and that one there. Okay, the price, current price now, and then we've got a peak. We've got a high right there, right? Now here, when we look at this one here, roughly they are the same level. So we don't have a divergence, we have a convergence. Convergence means they actually match. Now, if they don't actually match, let's say this high here and this high same level, but then here you're looking at it totally opposite. Maybe one is lower or one is higher. That means it doesn't really match between price and the stochastics. Okay, so let's give you another sample. On the 4-hour chart, so what that means is that on the daily chart, there may not be any what do you call that, reversal yet. Okay, but this is again not 100% accurate, because you know we're talking about a lagging indicator as well. So here, for example, you can see that it's got quite a strong candle, so it has got more potential to go upwards. But again, what we need to actually confirm is we need to go to the left and look for bullish mother candles, single bullish mother candles as well, because that will then give us more confirmation whether or not it's got more power to move to the upside. Okay, so now here, for example, we've got this peak here, this peak here. This one here is lower than that one. This is lower. So again, there's no divergence here. So I want to just show whether or not we've got divergence at other time frames. So here, let's just see. This is not very clear. It's a bit messy here as well. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. Okay, not much divergence as well. There's a high that's higher. There's a high and that one's higher. No divergence so far. So what that actually means is that we may be looking at more movement to the upside. Okay, so that is a good sign. So we're looking at NZDJPY. Let's say we are looking at the strength of the NZDJPY giving us opportunity to buy. But the thing is as well is that on the daily chart, we need to also look at this level here, just to mark the resistance by the lower body and also the the highest wick that you can actually see. So make sure you draw two lines at least when you are doing a resistance sort of drawing and also a support drawing. Okay, don't do just a single line, because a double line like this would be a little bit more accurate, and it would probably catch some of the other prizes that we may miss out if we draw only a single line. Okay, so here, for example, as you can see, really a strong candle on the daily chart itself. So it's giving us some room and giving us some hope that there may be more buying opportunities above this area, above the two lines that we can see. So what I would like to do as well is on the daily itself, I want to look at whether above the 71.67 area has got a single bullish candle to the upside in the past. Okay, so here, for example, if I go slowly, you can see you've got a little bit there, but again, this bullish candle is not really a very powerful bullish candle, because you've got a wick at the top, you've got a wick at the bottom. I want a single bullish candle that actually has less wick to the upside. Okay, so especially if it's got really powerful bullishness that doesn't give us exhaustion of traders, then you want to pick that candle. So I just want to go really slow, and maybe we can zoom out a little bit to, yeah, we've got something here. Let's see. We've got there's one single bullish candle right here, um, which is not too bad. You have got no wick at the top. Let's just mark that one there. Okay. Now this is on a bullish, sorry, it's on a daily chart. So then that single bullish candle may not look very long, but then if you calculate from the current price right to the top there, that's already 95 pips or 96 pips. So it is quite a significant one. So we've got one, but it'll be great if we can find more like longer, more powerful ones, so that we get a little bit of confirmation that the bullishness is definitely you know, an area at the current price now has got a lot of bullishness. This is what we want. So now we don't find it there. Let's just see. Because now we need to look for it on the daily chart first, so that we get most of the information. Because the lower time frames don't really give us, you know, accuracy right there. We've got one right there as well, from the current price right up there. That's 230 pips, which is very good. So we know that this area, the location of the current price now, the current price does have some buying power in the past. That actually means, because, you know, traders do like to revisit the prices that they have actually bought or sold before. Okay, that's why we get concentration of prices as well. So okay, that is enough at the moment, giving me a bit of an idea that we may have the potential. So now what we can then plan is that, because from here right up to there, that's about 86, 87 pips, right? So if we want to, you've got 71.34 there, you've got the current price now, let's say current price is 71.55. You can either choose to buy, do a pending order at 71.60, or you want to be more conservative, you can actually then buy it at 71.90. Okay, if you want to be more conservative, and but the take profit area could actually be at 72.40. Okay, this is for buying, by the way, yeah, for NZDJPY. So I'm just giving you some ideas of where we can look for some buying opportunity. You can do some pending order if you want NZDJPY. You can do that, but we want to go on to lower time frames as well in a minute, just to make sure that this is something that intraday traders, or those traders who want to close it within a day type trader, can also go onto this chart, onto this trade idea. So 72.40, okay, there you go. So you've got it from there. Now, if you were to trade now, let's say, and your take profit is there, that's about 90. 84, sorry, give me a second, 84 pips or so, which is really significant. If you're trading, even if you're trading a lot of one lot, of course, that's 840, but then it's about 80 plus dollars, excluding or minusing your spreads and all that, about 80 if you are trading with $1 per pip. Okay, but it's a good number of pips. We've got some strength there. Earlier on, we don't have any reversal at the moment. If it is based on the stochastic, but also we're looking at the strength going above this area. So we want to sort of look at opportunities there. Let us also look at the average directional movement index. It is definitely above level 25, giving us liquidity, NZD/JPY for the daily chart. For the 4-hour chart, we are looking at very strong trend strength as well. For the 1 hour, again, it's very strong. So it is actually giving us a lot of indication that there may be a possible buy above 71.67, and then you'll take profit at 72.40, which is 10 pips under the 50 psychological number. So here we are looking at, let's just to make sure. Got a very, very significant resistance here though, but because we have actually used the stochastic as well, and then sort of not got any hint of a reversal. So we, for me personally, I would prefer to trade above 71.67, okay, just because we have got that area right there as resistance. And let's see. This area here has also had a gap downwards, and then to close that gap, there were actually buyers buying power in that area to close the gap as well. So here, if we look at it, okay, so now we are looking at potential to the upside. Let me see. There's something quite interesting going on here, because it's the NZD/JPY on the 1-hour chart. I've seen that gap there, but I am not sure whether or not that gap has been closed. So this actually, if it has not, this actually means that there is a high chance of a close of that gap on the 1-hour chart of that price that has never been closed. Okay, that's a good sign. Let me just check. Yeah, I see that gap there, and you guys see it as well, right? NZD/JPY, you have got that gap that happened, let's say, somewhere around January this year, end of January this year, and there was a gap there, and it's definitely giving us some opportunity actually. So what we want to make sure is the trend is strong for the upside, which it does look like it's really strong on the NZD/JPY, and then we also need the how you call that, no reversal, but then see something is happening there, but also because of the psychological level. So it may be a minimal reversal, okay, but you look at all the ADX for the time frames, various time frames, are just showing really, really strong upward movement, upward trend. Why? Because the trend existing itself is an uptrend, but because of the way the 3 EMAs are also moving, I think it's probably good to do a bit of a conservative pending order, buy pending order. So what you guys can actually do is buy at 71.90, and then you want to take profit at 72.40, just to make sure that we don't have any reversals at this area. But there is a high chance of prices going up to close the gap, which I've just spotted the gap as well, and that gap hasn't been closed, so there is a very good chance of an upward move to close the gap that we have seen before. Okay, on the 4-hour chart as well, we're looking at really strong moves to the upside. Daily chart, you've got a bit of a jumble up in terms of the EMA lines and all that, but still it is an upward type move, and you've got that gap existing there as well, and that needs to be closed because we've got a downward move there. Now it's due for an upward, so hopefully that closes up. What I will do as well is to do the pending order for myself on to this Errante's live account. So I will just do a trade right in front of you guys. I'll do a pending order. So I've got it there. It's on the way up. So it's a buy. It's a buy stop. If you are going to buy, but then the price is not going up as yet and is actually making correction, then you will need a buy limit. But if it is going up and is everything is smooth, you want to buy and is also going up, then you want to choose your buy stop. Okay, so the price that I would prefer to buy is at 71.90. Okay, and to take profit at 72.40. Right, and also if I've got 71.90 right there. Okay, 71.90 is 71.40. That's about 40, let's say 40, okay, 40 plus pips, 50 pips, let's say. So I'll take the same 71.90 down to 50 pips or so. Okay, that's 54, okay, roughly 71.36. This is 71.35. So I'll just put that at 71.35. 36 it was actually. Okay, there you go. So put all that there for NZD/JPY, and I'll just place the order that's for a buy. Okay, done. There you go. So now I've got that on a pending order for NZD/JPY. Okay, so it's entirely up to you guys. You guys want to do that as well. It's on the buy stop. Trend is really strong at the moment. I've checked it on the daily chart, as you guys have seen. But looking at all the intraday or shorter time frames as well, it is looking really, really strong. But we've got a bit of a correction at the lower time frames, of course. At the moment, it's mainly due to that. We can always wait. Basically it is really strong on the uptrend, so I think the correction wouldn't be that much. But now see, looking at like my stop loss there is really very close. So what I will then do is just to broaden my stop loss a little bit. Wait a second. Okay, so 736, let's say it's 7100. Okay, if I see that it's, you know, coming really strong, then I probably just cancel this area, this order. But I just want to look at just to experiment and look at, now it's correcting mainly because of that as a resistance, also together with the 7150 as your psychological level area. So we are expecting that kind of movement to the downside just as a correction. But I also want to look at the A here, B here, C, you know, and then look at how much we can actually aim to the upside. So that's for NZD/JPY. Now we've got loads of movement with NZD crosses. It's the same NZD/JPY, NZD/USD as well. You can see it is giving us similar type movement, corrective move. But again, in terms of trend, really very strong. Yeah, quite strong to the upside. 1 hour chart as well, very strong to the upside. Okay. We're looking at NZD/JP, NZD/USD at this moment of time. Let's just look at how it's actually moving on the daily. And we've got a standalone resistance right here. So on its way up, it needs to be careful with the 67.20 area. Now we're only at 66.74 area. So we want to adjust the price. Let's say 62.27 is close to 67, sorry, 67.20. So we need to exit. Let's say if we were to actually buy, we want to take profit at 67.10. So I will just adjust this level here to 67.10, just so that you can see the distance that you can trade if you were to buy. So there's not much room. This is on the daily though. So let's just see the distance from current price to the projected area in terms of your take profit would be only about 35 pips or so. Now the price is at 66.73. So you don't really have much of a room, but what's more important is to look at whether or not we are expecting any reversal here. Okay, so we'll do another practice on the based on NZD USD, and we want to look at this NZD USD. We want to look at the trend strength first under indicators. Go to the trend, average directional movement index, click OK. You can see that it's all above 25 for the blue line. For the 4-hour chart, you can see very strong as well. So the uptrend is signaled to be quite strong based on the ADX, but you can also see from the way it's moving together with all the 3 lines and the yellow and red, which are the 8 and 20 EMAs, and they are actually, you know, looking quite what do you call that, to the upside. But now, of course, it is correcting. It is looking like there's a bit of correction going on at the moment, but there is no surprise as well with the NZD. I mean, being you know, the market that is not really very participative at this moment of time because of the time zone and all that. And we're also looking at USD. The US Open has just come in, and it's also the earnings season. So the US dollar cannot afford to actually be totally bearish at this time of the year. I mean, especially this week because of all the earnings. We've got Tesla as well, record high, got all the stocks and every big, I think the big stocks like the Microsoft and all the other ones as well, they're all proving to be quite bullish as well. So this is giving, you know, rise as well to the dollar at the moment, because you need cash, you need currencies to actually buy stocks as well. So they go hand in hand in a way, but one moving slower or faster than the other. So stocks will move first, then it is you know, the requirement of the currencies to fund the stocks that is being bought. Then you will see the currencies as well has to go up eventually. Okay, so there you go, NZD USD. We've got loads of potential, but it's a matter of waiting at the moment. It's actually quite close to what we've done with NZD JPY. It's got a bit of a peak right there. You got NZD USD, for example. You've got a bit of a standalone there that I have pointed out. As it goes up, and if it does actually pierces through this area, then you've got another standalone on the top. But the one that's probably more significant are all this area right here, because you have it on the like a consolidation. So if we move up just a little bit, or perhaps just like that. Okay, just to make it lower, because we've got all this area right here, and that will give us the 68.82, so 68.70 area to actually exit. So let me just put here 67, 68, 67, 68, 70. Okay, 68.70. Right. I'll just, let's look at the area that has been plotted out. Okay. There we go. So 67.30 is an area that you could look into buying. We'll measure the strength as well, single candles as well. 67.30, an area for buy, and then you're taking profit at 68.70 from that line there. down to there, roughly about 100+ pips, which is really good. So we don't want to get too excited with this one here. It's got some potential. It's got the uptrend moving upwards really nicely as well. But what we want to do though is we want to look at the past. We want to look at previous price action, whether or not we have had any very bullish mother candles, single mother candles as well on this current price of 66.75. So we need to really take it slow, look into whether or not we have got a single mother candle on the price. We do have something here. We've got some here, but that one reached the top right there. But I'd like to look at whether there are more single candles. We do have some strength there around there. It's not good enough. Got a long wick there though. Doesn't seem to have at this moment of time an appreciative move by a single mother candle. It's just not happening yet. What about the 4-hour chart? Oh, so what's going on there? Current price is actually under it already, so 66.73. I think it's probably best at 67.30. But for those who would like to also buy at 66.90, why not? But the problem is, whether or not we're expecting a bit of a reversal. Maybe there is a reversal. So why not we look into the stochastic? Go to stochastic and click on that. Okay. So I'll get rid of this one first because we know that the trend is quite strong to the upside. And here, let's see. Okay. Do we have a reversal? Let's just start off with the daily chart first. We have got a peak right there and we've got a higher area. This is reasonably a little higher as well. What about the base? The base, we have got higher low, and this low went higher than that. Yes, it's got no divergence at the moment. There's no opposite. Okay, so then go on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart got a bit of a tongue twist here. The 4-hour chart, for example, we look into this one here. Doesn't really seem like we have got a clear divergence. It's sometimes can get a little bit confusing. So let's just see that. Here, for example, this is not clear as well because we can take that as a little bit horizontal. Then you can look at that there. Okay, let's just measure that. Okay, yeah, that can actually be a straight line there, and then this one here was a higher high. These two highs quite close to the same level. So yeah, it is at the 1-hour chart that is signaling that reversal. The other thing we can actually do is to use Fibonacci as well. I know we've not covered proper tutorial on Fibonacci. We have to do that. We'll do that very soon, perhaps next week onwards, or even at the end of the week, like Friday or so. Okay, we'll let you know. I will let you guys know once I've confirmed. Okay, if you've got a peak right there and you go all the way up, basically you might find support at this area here, or even 50%, 61%. Most likely 61% as well. See how the price actually moved. Or we can just take this level here as your A, all the way to B, and you're looking at a drop to at least this level here, but I think it's got more potential at the 50% as well, mainly because you got a resistance right there. Resistance can actually turn to support as well, potentially. So that move downwards could be the 50, between the 38.2 and the 50%. So that's quite a significant drop, I think. Let's see from the current price now until the 50, that's about okay, because we're on the 1 hour chart. That's good. So this is about 73, about 70 pips or so. Okay, 71, 73 pips or so. So there is a room to the downside, but we want to just be careful and trade following the trend. So at this moment of time, okay, if you want to also, look into the downward type movement, it is definitely a reversal, not really a change of trend. So it's more a reversal. Any questions, guys? You guys are okay so far? Following? Yeah, good. I'm just gonna drink my coffee. All right. Okay, all good. Yeah, so far. So I've placed my NZDJPY. I'm not really that interested in placing any orders on NZD USD at this moment of time, me personally. But for those of you guys who want to take the sell trade as well, of course, you need to look into, like, right just about now, it's not too bad a price because it's under the under the 80 psychological number. Usually I would trade at 66.70. Now it's about 66, 67 or so. You can already start to enter. And you want to look at your support area right here, but it's always good to go one time frame up and look to the left. Look at single bearish mother candles as well, and you can always go to daily chart as well to do that. Okay, so from the current candle, got some movement right there. That's approximately about 45 points, but the price at 66.22, so you need to take it up to 30. So that will give you still about 38 pips or so, which is quite good. So yeah. So 66.30, you can exit. Yeah. 66, 65 now. So you can actually start now itself, your sell, and then take profit 66. Oh, 66.30. There we go. Right, so we got a bit of a selling type pressure on the NZD USD. We've just recently, or just earlier on, looked at NZD JPY. So then you have got that room up there. So let me just also box it up so that it's clear when I share it onto the Telegram groups. There we are. Okay, as for me, I'll just see what happens to that trade as well. GBP NZD has been picking up on the downside quite a lot as well. And you can see it's reasonably strong. We've got some support at this area. This is the daily chart. It is looking like it's got more downward type pressure. We go on to the 4-hour chart. You can see the ADX as well. It's just picking up. 1 hour is really strong to the downside for the GBP NZD. It's only the daily that you've got the ADX under, so that does give you a hint that it's not driven, wouldn't be driven by lots of selling pressure and all that at that area. Okay, so this is it at this moment of time. It's looking like it's got not much momentum, but that's for the daily chart though, so you still can go into the 30 minutes, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour. Okay, yeah, it's looking like it's really strong. We are at 90.40 though, so which means that we've got the 1.9050 as your psychological level as well. Okay, so this is for GBP NZD. What else can we do if we take the channel itself? Okay, for the channel, if you find that if you're doing a channel like this or even trend line, if you find it quite troublesome, what you guys can actually do is just simply to change it. Like let me demonstrate to you how how much a hassle this is. You have got all these peaks and you want to connect all the peaks and the bottoms, sorry, all the bottoms here with the peaks as well. And if you find it difficult, just change the chart into a line chart like this one here. Okay, so then what you need to do is to just adjust the line at the top needs to have at least two or so. You know, usually people say about 3 peaks needs to touch, and then the bottom as well. You need some good amount of touch points in terms of your. Okay, so here we have. That's quite a nice one here. Okay, so because you see you've got 1, 2, 3 touch point, fourth one there. And on the upside, it's not really that strong. But then look at what we have done. We'll just click on to the candlestick, and it looks like it's quite nicely drawn as well. Okay, so if you find it challenging for you to actually use the candlestick, use the line chart to draw channels or even support resistant lines, horizontal ones, or even those diagonal ones as well. Okay. All right. Any questions at all, guys? You guys okay? Oh, I think we've got more people coming in. Okay, good. All right. Okay, good so far, brilliant. Any questions, guys? With the current trade that you have, if you've got any questions that may be connected or you just need to ask, just carry on, don't worry. Okay, you can ask because the market's moving and you know sometimes you want to ask something and it's urgent because it's you've got your running trades on as well. Okay, so here, yes, your GBP and ZD to the upside, moving quite fiercely to the upside, GBP and ZD, but overall trend based on the daily chart, we've got more room to the downside. Okay, so if we go on the 1 hour chart, it's the same thing. Okay, it's going to the upside at this amount of time, potentially to meet this dotted line at the very top, and you will see that it's probably has got this zigzag movement to the upside. Okay, and if you take a Fibonacci as well from this peak, let's say, all the way down, you can see that it's got a potential right up there. You've got this area. Okay, any one of these lines as well, 38.2 or 50%. The closest one that the price is at is with the 23.6% right there. Okay. All right, we've got a bit of a movement now. GBP and ZD. I wouldn't be interested in that sort of move to the upside and then zigzag all the way down. I would prefer to enter with clarity of trend as well. Okay, so this is very important for me personally, but it's probably something to really save traders from hitting their reversals and all that. Okay, so hitting their stop loss basically. So okay, GBP and ZD. Then you've got GBP. Exactly on the 4 hour chart. We've got this appreciation of price. I would think it's quite close to that there. Okay. Again, with what's going on now, there's probably a chance to go up to this area right here. Okay, so we have got 90.77, even if it's 90.70. Roughly about 37, 38 pips or so. Okay, so this is for GBP and ZD. You guys are okay, yeah? Sure, so far? All right, good. AUD JPY, if you guys remember this trade, AUD JPY, I shared this trade on trading based on reports from the bank. So at that time, we had a couple of banks, you know, giving out almost the same type signals, and then I did my own analysis, and then I saw that it is definitely an area to buy where the banks have decided to buy, which was at 72.70. Now the price has, you know, bank exits there at 76.00 at the time of trading as well. Some later traders basically looked at that breakout of 75.00. So 75.10 was the second option of buying, because we have got all this triangle type pattern as well. It's giving us a little bit of a heads up in what's going on with the AUD JPY. So we've got the banks buying there, and they is said to exit there, but then look at all this movement going on. Now the other thing as well, now prices is there, we need to mark the resistance with the highest body there and the highest wick. So when we do that, the current price hasn't actually gone out of these two bluish type line that I've just drawn on between 76.80 to 76.20 area. So I would prefer for the price to go above, approach 76.90. You can actually buy at 76.90, or you want to look into 77.10. But need to always go to the left, taking a look at what's going on. Do we have a clear coast after that breakout? If you do, you can always also add up the strategy I've just taught you earlier on about the single mother candle to the upside, okay, for this trade. So yes, you do have some appreciation of price right there. But I actually have got more buying type power to the upside. And this here, we do have a bullish candle pushing out from the 76.80 area, quite a significant one, because this is still on the daily chart. That was about 185 pips. We've also got another one here, not too much, but 58 pips. Another one, quite significant one from here, right up. That is 163 pips. So yes, in terms of volume, in terms of participation, we may have that. But again, you want to be very careful, 76.90 to actually buy for AUD JPY. Okay, so then, we didn't actually mark the area of support using a single bullish candle. Okay, second. So we've got it there. Let's see if we take, which one is a little bit shorter? I think that one, this one, sorry. Okay. Take that and measure that is 178. So you want to exit at 78.40. 78.40. Okay. There we are. So we do have 76.90 is where I would buy. So I'm putting a pending order here, 76.90, let's say. Okay. So you've got that gap there. It's not too bad, a gap, because you know, this is on the daily chart. So we've got it there to there. That's about 152 pips. It's very significant. So it's probably best for us to, you know, trade in stages, meaning that you want to, yes, you do want that to break out. If it does actually break out, you've got buying opportunity, but you want to look at lower candles like 30 to 40 pips or so, and then you want to look into more movement as it goes. So it's more like in stages kind of thing. Okay, so that is for your AUD JPY. Now for the Euro JPY on the daily, you see all these pairs, the 5 pairs that I have actually suggested: NZD JPY, NZD USD, GBP NZD, AUD JPY, and Euro JPY. Now they all have got sort of a similar drive by, you know, whether it's liquidity or traders or fundamentals and all that. But you see that the the movement are, they seem to be quite similar in terms of the momentum, in terms of the timing that they started to buy again. Looks like they mirror all these pairs mirror one another. So, and they are actually quite correlated pairs as well. So that's probably why. Okay. Okay, so here it's quite, it's clearer here. What you need to do is to draw two lines, one on the lower body, lowest body right there, highest body right there, highest wick right there. So we have got two lines here, between 123.86, 124.42 as well. So I need this to sort of go upwards and pierce through the 124.50 area. So if I were to buy, probably buy at the 124.60 area, and then we look into. Okay, what I'm looking for now is single bearish candle to the upside, breaking out from 124.40 onwards. We have got a bit of a looking for bullish candle, but seems like more bearish ones are there. Okay. Also, the other thing is that if at all it moves up to this area up here, this gives us the cup handle pattern as well. Now, the cup and handle pattern, usually once it goes up to the area of the mouth of the cup, there is a potential you take it from the base right to the very top there as well, because of that one there. For the price to actually meet there, if it does actually then started to come down, then you're looking at this area here for the reversal to happen and find support at that 50% or so. Okay, so there you go. Now you're buying at 124.60. There you go. So you've got what would most likely happen is for it to go there, find a bit of correction, and come downwards to the 121.88 or 89 area. Okay, so there you go. So here we have got this nice curve to right here, and you have got resistance right here. But then if we look at stochastic, we want to see whether or not we are looking at any potential reversal. So let's start with the 1 hour chart. Even the charts are going nuts. Okay, give me a second. Okay. So there we go. I'm just looking at all the support, resistance areas right there, but we're not really looking at resistance area. Okay, so there is a potential following the daily chart, especially to look into your buying sort of opportunities, but above the 124.50 area. So looking at a good potential of 124.60 to actually buy. We don't really see any, there is a bit of a divergence. So we have to watch out. Why? Because we have got the same level here, but then not really the same level there. So there is divergence. So this actually does mean that once 1 to 4, you see it's very close to 1 to 4.20. So 1 to 4.20 is your psychological level. So we're looking at divergence as well as a potential reversal based on the psychological level of 1 to 4.20. So there you go. That is basically it for Euro JPY. So at this stage, I wouldn't actually look into loads of buying until it reverses a little bit, and then we can look into buying or a pending order at 1 to 4.30. There you go. That is for the Euro JPY. We've covered all the 5 trading opportunities as well. I'm seeing a good volume of trades. Now we are only on Wednesday at the moment. Am I correct? Yes, Wednesday, middle of the week. But usually all these 5 pairs, because they've got JPY in it, it's looking like it's got a lot of average movement, average pip movement for these pairs happens on Thursdays quite a lot, which is tomorrow. So I would expect that we've got a little bit of reversal and then continuation of an uptrend starting tomorrow. Then we can look at it reversing. So just leave it to reverse first. We are not doing any, spot trading or trading on the spot at this moment of time, pending order for now until the prices are marinated into the market or trend marinated into the market will probably be good. So there you go. All right, guys, any questions at all? Questions? Good so far? Pratap, Alfred, Sugu, you guys okay? Any questions so far on the current trade? Sugu, you're trading the Euro USD today at all? We can actually take a look at Euro USD. All good, Alfred, thank you. Also, Euro USD is currently going through a very nice upward movement. Of course, all the euro crosses, but we want to watch out for a resistance, mainly because it is a very volatile market, got a lot of liquidity, but we are fundamentally driven with a lot of things, a lot of areas that are sort of significant as resistant because of the volatility level as well. Okay, so volatility levels looking quite seriously high for this whole week, mainly because of what we have mentioned last week about the big pump of money, especially in the Eurozone. It's called the PEPP, the pandemic emergency purchase program. So that has actually risen to 700 plus billion as well. And then all the central banks of the other parts of the world, other parts of the planet, you've got Canada, you've got US, you've got everywhere. They all have to sort of plan their PEPP as well. But then the one that has gone full swing and agree on a lot more money is the Eurozone after the meeting with the President Lagarde yesterday as well. Hence the reason we are still expecting about 2 weeks of a run of more buying. But with more buying, it is very risky for us to actually just put a buy, place a buy, and just leave it, because the trend will be there, which is good. But then we need to be ready to govern the floatings. The floatings will be equally big as well. Okay, the trend will be there, but then the floating will be equally big. And when we have equally big floatings, the problem with that is that, okay, if it is with Errante and we are trading with swap free, it's actually good for us with low, I would say with high leverage, but raw spreads or low spreads with swap free. These are okay conditions for floatings, but floatings as well will prevent us from trading intraday trades and getting short-term opportunities, because we will eventually be a little stuck with the floatings. But this is, if you are comfortable with that, then you can actually do that. If you want to have some intraday trades as well, then you want to limit on the aiming high on the take profit area, and also stretching out your stop losses. If you want to trade intraday, you need to lower your stop losses gap as well, and also your take profit gap, because then you can enter the market and still be in the game quite a lot during the day. So if I want to trade intraday and look at trading a few times in a day, then it's probably better for me to aim anywhere between 20 to 50 pips, make it small, and then my stop loss as well is 20, 50 pips, or maybe, let's say 50 pips, 50 to 60 pips also. Okay, if I want to trade many times in a day. But if I want to leave it, like medium to long term, then I need to be ready as well, that to know this is my limit in terms of my stop loss. How much is your stop loss? You can aim for bigger, like 100 pips or so, but then your loss level as well has to be 100 pips or so. Okay, then you need to also understand your swap charges if you are not on the Errante's how you call that, swap free account. Okay, so that's basically it. Any questions so far? You guys okay? Yeah, it is very risky, Sugu. It's a lot of fundamentals. You're looking at Euro USD itself. You see that the price now is at 1.1594 area, and you know, it's very close to the 1.1600 psychological level as well. And you can see that the market is also tricking a lot of traders to look at all these long big candles, and then they will have it in their mind that it's uptrend, which they are right, it's uptrend, but then they may be a little bit, how you call that, they may have forgotten that the uptrend doesn't mean only uptrend, it may also mean big corrections too. Okay, so if the uptrend is planned by the government, by the, you know, by the countries, and the fundamental factors and all that, that means the corrections are also very big, because this is driven by the banks, okay, by central banks especially. Hedge funds as well are pumping in money, but then it's more a government plus bank initiative when it comes to all this PEPP program for central banks, especially because they are controlling the policies, and the movement of currencies are the central bank at this moment of time, not the economy too much. It's the central bank because of the pandemic that is going on. Okay. All right, there you go. So we can still trade in stages. It'd probably be the best or safer strategy is to trade in stages, meaning to cap your profit at 20-30 pips per time. If you see a big long haul of stretch, you can take smaller how we call that, chunks of TP, 20-30 pips, but then you can also at the same time increase your normal level of per pip value. If you usually trade 10 cents, you can put it at 20-25 cents, let's say, just as an example, and then instead of aiming 100 pips, 120 pips, and then leave it to floating, you just take 20-25 pips or 30 pips, and then you see how the strength is after the correction. You enter again like that. So you're buying in the dip. Okay. All right. Yes, money management, risk management, very, very important, really important. Okay, at this moment of time. But there's a lot of opportunities, of course. You've got lots of opportunities, but you've got a lot of how you call that, a lot of volatility, a lot of risk, a lot of opportunities as well. They're all the same. Okay. Now, I want to just visit GBP AUD has got a bit of a corrective area right there on the 4-hour chart, but it's giving us a lot of hints to the downside on GBP AUD. Let me just check on the heat map very quickly. At this moment of time, we are at the main session meaning that the cross between European session, London session, and US session. That's why we call it the main session, because we've got more sessions, more pumping in of liquidity and all that, more trading opportunities as well, usually on the main session. Okay, but in the main session, we are looking at Euro really still strengthening. But then what's weak at the moment in the main session is the JPY. So Euro JPY, basically, that's why you see that you've got a bit more clarity right there as well. But still, because of the clarity of trend, we still want to play with price action to be sure that you don't get reversed so easily. So your 12460 is a better buying price for Euro JPY. Okay, for Euro USD, you're looking at 1590 at the moment, but like I've mentioned earlier on, 1.1600 is your psychological number. Okay, so if I mark the 1.1600, let us just do a little bit of analysis on Euro USD, 1600, okay, and you want to then look at buying only at 1610 and above, or 1630. So if I put in, just as an example, 1630 as a more safer buying area, just so that we can minus all the correction and all that. Let the correction and all that happen first. Okay, so then you got 1630 right there. Then what we do is that, still based on the daily, you go to the left, and then you see what is actually happening based on the 1630 and the 1600. Okay, based on the 1600, we have got correction. We have got a plunging of prices down. So obviously you don't want to buy that area because it has fallen from there before and it has gone down. What about buying from 1630? Now from 1630, do we actually have any strong bullish single candles? So they are, but they are not really very significant or very long, as long as the bearish candles here. Okay, so we need to look more. So we have got some longish one, but it's actually higher up than the blue area. So what was the price that the buyers in the past, strong buyers, wanted to move in with? Was the 1667 area. Okay, right there. So they prefer to actually buy at that level there and then take prices higher. But let's look further. Maybe we may find single bullish candles. Single bullish candles close to the area that we have marked. Not that easy to find. Okay, see that area there? Let's see whether we have got some bullish. We've got a lot of bullishness at that area, but again, no single bullish powerful candle. It took time because all these single bullish candle that are a little stronger, they all move higher, as you can see, higher than this area that we have. So that actually means that the buying may take some time. So maybe there may be some correction. We've got one there. Okay, this one here is based on, okay, sometime in 2003, which is really, quite long ago, but it's at about 100, what do you call that, pips. We've also got another one at about 80 plus pips, which is right there. And let's see, we've got another one that is a little longer there, which is maybe a bit better. That one is about 200 plus pips. So we do have some bullishness that may actually take place at 1630. Let's say we mark this one here. That's at 1735. Okay, so at 1740 you can actually exit as well because we've got a higher candle right there as well. Perhaps what if it is at safer at 1710, because under the 20 psychological number 1710. Okay, right, and that gap there of a buying potential is worth about 78 pips. Okay, that's not bad. 78 pips, but again, it is really important for us to measure the strength of the trend. You can do that that Euro USD on a buy at 1630 to 1710. Maybe a safe area there for you to do a pending order buy, and then we'll see how it goes. And if you click on to the average, sorry, the average directional movement index, you can see that on the daily, it's on a 4-hour, it's quite strong on the upward type move. It's the same for the daily as well, very strong uptrend. And what about the 1-hour chart? Also quite strong. So it's not too bad, I think. The buy potential at 1630, and then you'll take profit at 1710. But it's entirely up to you if you want to take less, and you can always adjust it to yourself. Okay, so there you go. That's for the Euro USD. All right, guys. Any questions at all? You guys are okay so far? All good? EuroCAD reverse triggered the buy. Okay, EuroCAD. Let's take a look at EuroCAD a little bit. Yes, it triggered the buy. It's okay. That's not too bad. It's still looking strong for the EuroCAD. In terms of trend, everything is still there. Let's just take a look at average movement index. Still is strong on the daily. 4-hour hasn't actually reached that area yet, but 1 hour is. So in the middle time frame of 4-hour, maybe some, sort of areas, lack of confidence in going up and all that because of the news, most probably the news side of it with the euro versus the CAD, because the CAD is struggling at the moment with current situation in Canada, also with the oil prices as well, because it's very much impacted by the oil prices. So not too bad. It's not looking like, um, it doesn't look like it cannot make it to the TP2. There is possibility, I think, because it has already gone above the area. It's got some price play. It has already gone, okay, triggered, yes, 55.60, now it's at 55.77. Okay, it's a little bit, it's appreciating a little bit, little by little, but we notice that it is quite a struggle for the euro Canadian dollar. Now it's creating that long wick there, so might actually just come down more. If your EuroCAD is now at profit, even though it's very little, you can stop it first, and then what we can do is we can create another buy above, maybe above your 55, maybe 55.90, not 55.90, 56.10, let's say. So 56.10 and then 56.40, there's a 30 pips. So you can do that if you want, so that it doesn't turn to negative again. And then if it is already on a positive, whether it's $5 or $10, it doesn't matter. You just can close it, and then you reopen one pending order at 56.10, and then you take profit at 56.40. Okay, you can do that as well if you want. All right, good. So okay, let's see. Yeah, see, it's weakening right there. There may be a possibility. But if you are already profiting just a little bit, just close that. This doesn't really matter. Okay, and then you can open that pending order of 30 pips also. Okay, 56.10 and 56.40. All right, it's still showing lots of momentum to the upside anyway for Euro CAD. Euro AUD is also showing signs of upside movement. It's got that whole movement there. 62.70 would be the exit right there, because that red line is at 62.84, so it's close to 62.80. Okay, all right, guys. I hope it's been helpful for certain things. I'm looking at quite a number of pairs, because I've already shared what I am monitoring myself, which is these 5 pairs right here. Oh, give me a second. Okay, yeah, and the other one that I'm looking at, my heat map, of course, Euro JPY is continuing its uptrend. Euro JPY is proving to be quite strong. GBP NZD is proving to be very weak. Okay, so GBP NZD, I've also have it here. Okay, very week, even though you see that correction right there, but it could probably be only a correction. But when you go to the daily chart, you see that downtrend persist. Okay, so downtrend quite strong on that one there. It's only showing you the correction on the lower time frame, of course, and then it's a correction. So you got A here, B here, C, and then boom, D to the downside. Okay, Euro JPY very strong. So there you go. So there is a potential for the 1 to 460, and perhaps you want to take about 30 pips. So 1 to 490 be your take profit. So 1 to 460 to 1 to 490. Okay. One, 2, 4, 9, 0. There we are. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Small gap, 30 pips also, just to keep it safe. Okay. No reversal at the moment. Okay, there you go. All right, guys. I think that's all I have for you for today. But if you've got any questions, do ask. I'm monitoring all these JPY pairs at the moment and NZD pairs, especially GBP NZD, Euro JPY. These are the ones that are moving really fast in their respective directions. Also, yeah, it's mainly GBP NZD and Euro JPY. Okay, guys, any questions at all? No questions? Yeah. Okay, if no questions, I want to say thank you for attending my webinar today, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. If you guys prefer, we can make that at 3 my time, which is 8 o'clock your time. If you want, we'll make that at 8 for tomorrow. Would that be okay? Or we can communicate on Telegram as well, in the group, and you guys can tell me which is most convenient. Okay, so yeah, we can do that. Okay, let's make it 8 then, Sugu, yeah? If the rest are okay with that as well, so we'll make it 8 for tomorrow. All right, so 8 will be 3 p.m. my time. Perfect. Okay, guys, any questions after this, you can directly message me on Telegram, ask me anything, no problems. And yeah, happy peeping to all. Most welcome, Cheng Ho. Hope you all have got a peeping week. Okay, happy peeping week. Of course, there's a lot of challenges as well with the current very volatile situation, but I think we are managing it quite well. So we just need to focus on the risk and your money management side of it, of course, and also be sure that you are riding the trend, or be a bit clearer with what the trend is very important. Okay, thank you very much, Sugu. Okay, all the very best. Take care. Okay, I'm going to go and fetch my daughter in a bit, and hope you guys are enjoying your time in the evening with your families, and then have a good day tomorrow. Have a good night. Take care. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.